Welcome to Salon Conversation. I'm Lisa Conway and I'll be your host. For many people, the salon is a space where they take time out for themselves. They chat with their stylist or therapist about anything and everything, and most importantly, they leave feeling refreshed and beautiful. In this episode, I'm going to read a chapter from my first book, The Naked Salon, which is a hilarious take on running a small business, and in my case, a salon business. But many people have told me that it applies to all small business. The things that I heard standing behind that chair for almost 30 years, I could have sunk that town, you know. So sit back, relax and enjoy, and I promise you it will not be boring. Lucky last, chapter 20. So we've come to the end of the book, and the good news is there's two more books. There is Your Salon Retail and Your Salon Team, so I'm sure we'll get onto those next. Why'd you buy a salon in the first place? That is a really good question to never lose sight of. And, you know, with my work as a coach today, I often say to people, well, why'd you go into business? And they tell me, and it's always about the environment that they wanted to create, and they didn't want to work for someone who wasn't doing it the way they think it should be done. And there's a lot of emotion around why you bought a salon, and it's an absolute joy. I loved it. I loved my salon years. But I think it's like having children. You loved having your children too, but you know when two's enough or three's enough or six or one, you know. So it's a really personal choice. But I think we can get lost sometimes in why we have a salon. And one of the things that I find really fascinating is you'll go into a business that's quite new or even day one, and they're fussing around and they're so happy that there's a customer and come in, you know. And then there's some business you go and you think, hello, anybody here? You know, and it's dead. And so I think you need to understand that the energy that you bring is the energy that you receive. And so if you're a bit cooked and can't be bothered, then I think we need to talk, because you probably need a holiday. This year I talked to a few of my clients who had a holiday with not only their kids, their sister's kids, and stayed in a caravan when they couldn't cook and look after things, and it was just a nightmare. I said, well, why is that a holiday? Just a change of pace. And they go, I know. So sometimes I think we have to be reminding ourselves as why did you get a salon in the first place? Like, to me, if you're going to have a salon and you're going to work on the floor a lot of hours and then you're going to try and run the business and feel stressed out when anyone leaves, well, what's the point? What's the point, right? I think your salon should bring you joy, and you should be at least having 6 weeks off a year, at least. You know, 3 lots of 2 weeks off is not a lot. I think you could have all the school holidays if you wanted to, but you got to do the work if that's the case. But I think sometimes you go into places and you think, oh God, they're grumpy in here. And sometimes you go and they're just delightful. And you just think, oh, I've really made a good decision. So there's lots of ways that you can check on that. You can do it with mystery shoppers and all sorts of things. But I think it's a really good idea if you just be honest. Like, why'd you buy a salon in the first place? And then think if it still connects. Like, does it still feel like that? Or now do you think, what did I do? I can remember feeling like, who signed me up for this shit fight? Like, I'm thinking, okay, so I've got more clients than I can manage. I'm in here before the day starts and I'm dragging the towels home at the end of the day. I'm lucky to get to the phone. I have to rinse every colour myself, whereas I came from a salon where I had people rinsing colours and applying things, and then I'm on my own. I'm thinking, who signed me up for this shit fight? And the money was good, but because I only had my wage, but I didn't like it. You know, I missed my litter mates. I wanted to have people around me that I could say, what do you think? Do you reckon put a bit more of this in it, or what do you think? And go shorter. And I really loved that. And so, you know, everybody's different. It's not for me to say you need to have 3 or 4 people on your team, or 10 or 1. It doesn't matter. But I think you've got to be honest with sometimes what we think we want and what we have is not the same thing. So I want you to always consider and do a bit of an honesty check. What lights me up? What do I love? And so if you just have a piece of paper and you just put it in half, and I love my salon because, I can't stand my salon because, and just see which one's easier to write. Like, if you love your salon, it's really easy to write. Like, it lights me up. I just love being this wiser grey-haired lady who helps people when they're stuck. I just love it. And when I first started coaching years ago, it was a different space. I think I was, I don't know, I was very insecure, I think, about my ability, but my ability is incredible. And now I feel like I know my power and my joy, and I know how I can help and how I can support people. And sometimes I think in those early days, I wanted people to run a business that I thought they should run, whereas I don't do that now. I get people to run the business that they want to run. And, I have a bit of a rule that I don't want you working too many hours because I think it's unhealthy. And if you want to work 40 hours and money's the only thing that motivates you, then I'm not your coach. But if you want to have a life that's healthy and wealthy isn't about money, wealthy is a bit, I can take time off. I can go to my kids' concert. I can pick them up from school. And I love training people, that sort of stuff. If that's what I call wealthy. And be able to say to someone, I'll pay for that. It's fine. And make donations to your community. And to me, that's wealthy. And to be kind and just go, actually, I don't know. I don't know, but I'll find out, and be honest and, help people. And you still have boundaries and you still look after as many people as you can, but you also look after yourself. And the truth is, even the ambulance slows down when they have the right of way, but they go through a busy traffic intersection, they slow down. You have to be careful and you have to look after yourself. So just because the ambulance is the ambulance and they can go mee and drive wherever they want, they're still careful. And that's the same as you. You're the business owner and you get to make all the decisions, but don't run around with your license thing on, your, lights flashing and crashing into things. You have to look after yourself too. You might be looking after clients, you might be looking after team members, and they're in the ambulance, but you're the one who needs to be careful too. So look after you. If there's any way that I can help you, just reach out. I would be delighted. So that's one book down. I've got 2 to go. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now. Chapter 20. Why did you buy a salon in the first place? The hair and beauty industry is for individuals who love people and fashion, and who seek out how to look and feel the best possible version of yourself. It's also for those who want to do the same for their clients. Most of us are always watching what other people are wearing and making comments on their appearance. We love the ability to change the way we look, and we also understand that our appearance reflects who we are and how we feel. But it's become really clear to me that too many hair and beauty professionals burn out on this. They stop looking around for inspiration. They stop taking pride in transforming their clients. Yet they stay in their jobs, even though they are no longer happy in them. If this is you and you are over the hair and beauty industry, then be brave and make an exit plan. You really need to be honest and give yourself permission to move on. There are lots of things that you could do next. Your training and experience is a good foundation for many other roles. If you're not being honest with yourself, and if you're still unclear if this is the best career choice, take the time to look around at the over-it hair and beauty professionals and ask yourself if you want to join that pile. If you aren't still excited by your profession at some level, then you will never excel and you won't regain the job satisfaction you once had. I see it all the time in hair and beauty salons and other small businesses, and the signs are really easy to spot. People who are just over servicing other people. You hear them complaining about a particular incident or a particular customer. Maybe they saw 100 clients that week, but they go out of their way to tell you about the one horrible one. They are totally focused on the negative. And I don't know anyone who has grown their business by focusing on the negative clients. They are easy to spot. In fact, some of them write signs on their door, so it is even easier for you to find them. There's a shoe repairer near me and I walk past his store all the time. He has a sign on his door, handwritten in thick black pen. No food or drink in this shop. We close at 5 p.m. sharp. Pay when you drop repairs off. Cash only. Please use the other door. Well, at least he said please. What the sign probably should have said was, I'm tired and very grumpy. I'm over this place, but I have no idea how to escape. I don't like my wife, and she is at home with my spoiled kids. So you are stuck with me. Why would you stay in a job you don't enjoy? 2 reasons. 1, it wasn't always like this. You slipped down the slope without noticing. Or 2, you just don't know where to start on making the changes you need to get out. So, what are you really struggling with? I see this desperation quite often in salons that are struggling. Owners will tell me how good business used to be and how times have changed. They live in the past and they genuinely believe that people will no longer spend money on hair and beauty treatments. That might be true for them. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're absolutely right. It's your view of the world, so you own it. The truth is, we don't need 5 million clients. Most successful salons have an active database of between 500 and 1,000 clients. That's all it takes. If your clients are not spending with you, it's because your passion and love for what you do just isn't there, and they're not feeling that energy which comes from the core of a person who loves their job. If you love your job, every day is great. The trouble is the world is changing at a rapid pace, and in any job you need to keep up with these changes. However, it's even truer if you are in the hair and beauty industry. The services we offer are changing at an extreme pace. If a beauty therapist had suggested 30 years ago that she put hot wax on my pink bits and removed every trace of hair, I would have called the cops. Laugh if you like, it's true. 30 years ago, that was unheard of. In fact, I saw a nude painting in an art gallery just recently of a young lady, and boy, oh boy, was she extremely bushy down there. It looked very out of place. I thought, lucky she doesn't smoke, because that bush looked a lot like a fire hazard to me. It's just another bit of proof things are changing at a rapid pace, and we need to keep up. You can stay doing what you hate and get grumpier and grumpier about it, but you'll have to work on your own because nobody could possibly work alongside you. I hear this one a lot too. I used to have staff and they just did my head in. It's better without them. Really? Isn't that interesting? Most people I know get into the beauty business without any thought of why, when, or how they might get out. I believe you need to have a time frame and review your plan regularly. I think you'd be happier if you didn't just assume you'd stay in your salon forever. You need to review whether you are being rewarded both financially and emotionally. You need to think about what it is that you need to be doing in order to stay. And what is your line in the sand for moving on? There are always going to be crossroads in your life, and we need to decide which road to take. One thing I know for sure is you need to not only love your clients, you need to love what you do to them. It's your responsibility to give them the latest and the greatest, and if you can't do that, it is time for you to move on. I get asked all the time, who does your hair? It's quite sad that lots of people are yet to experience a passionate beauty professional. And I've found that once they do encounter that sort of passion, they're happy to pay for it. I referred a woman I met at a networking event to a client salon because she was telling me that she couldn't find a decent one. She was sick of the very ordinary service she was getting. Months later, I bumped into her again, and she was bursting to tell me that although she now pays double, she loves her visits to see the guys I recommended. She said, "It's a pleasure to watch people who genuinely love what they do." I have to say, she looked great. I never said, "I'm going to work," ever. I've always said I was going to the salon. Love what you do and you will never work a day in your life. You need to understand that this is not a desk job. It's a job in which you have to be on top of your game every single day. Your clients react to how you are emotionally. Yes, it's a big ask, but I think it's the most rewarding thing that you can be doing. Making people not only look beautiful, but also feel beautiful. They love you for it. Is that why you bought a salon in the first place? Because you love making people look beautiful? Is it still true today? If it is true, and you're still fed up, then maybe it's because your salon isn't as profitable as it needs to be. If that's the case, then turn back to the money chapters in this book and see what you can do to get better margins, get paid what you are worth, and take the financial stress out of your life. If you really are sick of it all, then look at what you need to do to make your selling an appealing purchase and work towards that. Sometimes I think that we lose our passion because we don't have a goal in mind, and working at getting your salon ready to sell might be the impetus you need to reignite your passion for the industry. This is one of my many messages that came across my desk, and I love hearing from you, so please drop me a line. Hi Lisa, geez, I start like we've met and known each other for ages, when in fact we've never met. My name is blank. I own a salon based in blank, Victoria, called blank, and I wanted to say thank you to you for your amazing book, The Naked Salon. I purchased this book about 2 weeks ago and I've just completed it. Yep, slow reader. And you have successfully helped me to reignite the fire in my belly for my salon. I have recognised I had become complacent with my business, even after spending an insane amount on coaching, implementing some systems, and still chasing my friggin' tail. And I was putting my I need help shoes on when I stumbled across something on Facebook regarding your book, and that was it. My sign. That's what I needed. Best dollars I've ever spent so far, so thank you. Now recognising that I need assistance, I would love it if you could arrange a meeting with you or one of your team to help me with my business. I am scared to say and face it, though I have to if I'm going to move forward. I feel I am failing, and for me failure is not an option, nor is bowing out. I started my business to change something within the industry, to give people something they hadn't had before, and to also show the world that I can stand on my own 2 little feet. So, this being said, I'd love to hear from you and the Zing team and see if we can play shop together. Thank you again for understanding the business owner, the industry, for writing your book and simply understanding just how shit works. Regards, blank. P.S. If this is the weirdest email you've ever received, my apologies. It's my way of saying what I mean and meaning what I say. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed that and had a laugh or two. If you would like a copy of my physical book, there is a link in the show notes. I've also included the action points from the end of the chapters so that you can get started on your journey immediately. I would love it if you would like and share my podcast so that we can continue to grow together.